we now have an idea of what the Dodgers have been up to early in free agency, as we've now gotten a report that signifies exactly who they have been meeting with in the last couple weeks. This is Mike Nelson of Dodgers Digest. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the almost 12% of the ones that are watching these videos who have already hit the sub button. 87% of you have not jumped on the program yet. Myself, Brad J, we're bringing you everyday Dodger content you don't want to miss out. We're the best Dodger channel out there. Let's get right into it. Of course, Blake Snell, a former Giants pitcher, currently a free agent who opted out of his contract with the Giants. Blake Snell has met with the Dodgers, the Red Sox, and he could meet also with the Orioles and the Blue Jays. This is absolutely massive, to say the least. The Dodgers already meeting with Blake Snell. There, of course, has been a speculation on this channel from myself and Brad J talking about what kind of a pitcher the Dodgers will be going after, the names we kind of threw out there. But now we have some concrete idea or a concrete report from a pretty big source. As we know, Ken Rosenthal has been in baseball for decades, working on Fox Sports. The guy breaks stories. He doesn't just, make stuff up, as we've seen some other insiders do here in the last few years. This guy's legit. He's the real deal. And he's already reported that Blake Snell has already met with the Dodgers. Comment below. What do you guys think? Do you guys think, is this for real? The Dodgers really going after Blake Snell? Or is this kind of a meeting the Dodgers just did, just did it, right? To kind of see where Blake's at and what he wants and all that. I personally think they're not just doing it for no reason. I think the Dodgers are not about that. They're not like other teams. These guys are all business. The Dodgers are all business when it comes to free agency. Look at the kind of deals they've come up with in the last 2 years, and that's why the results are there. World Series champions twice now in the last 4 years. So going back to Blake Snell, Blake Snell is a kind of pitcher that, as we know, is a game changer. He is an absolute game changer. I don't know what you guys think. Blake Snell, for me, has to be above Corbin Burnes. I know for some, Corbin Burnes is the top dog, but for me, it has to be Blake Snell. The guy has, of course, World Series experience. He's been pretty consistent. Yeah, the last year, injuries didn't look too good, but he has the potential to kind of be a number one, number two on any ball club. Easy. And if you add Blake Snell alongside Tyler Glasnow and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, for me, are going to be the two kind of cornerstones of this rotation in 2025. Let's be honest, Yamamoto and Glasnow have to be the two cornerstones of this rotation because of Ohtani's health, right? Like we talked about before, Ohtani is a big question mark when it comes to pitching. It's not for sure he's going to be able to pitch at the beginning of 2025. And then the shoulder injury in the World Series makes things even worse because the guy can't even rehab now. His rehab is going to be delayed basically due to that injury. So that's a big problem, right? I think the Dodgers had hoped that Ohtani was going to be ready and basically be an asset right from the get-go for the Dodgers for the pitching rotation, but that's just not the case, right? It's not the case, and now the question is, who do they go get, right? And that's why Blake Snell, I think, was met with, he met with the Dodgers early on because there's obviously some interest of the Dodgers to bolster that pitching rotation. Now, the Dodgers didn't only just meet with Blake Snell. We also got a report from Dodgers Nation today. The Dodgers have been in contact with Blake Snell, Corbin Burnes, and Max Fried. So basically the three biggest pitching free agents out there are already in contact with the Dodgers. So this is absolutely great news because you hope, let's just put this out there. What do you guys think? The Dodgers are going to get at least one of these guys, right? They're going to get at least one of these guys, right? Let's be completely honest. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. They're the World Series champions. They're the biggest baseball club right now in the world. And they're meeting up with three elite pitchers. They have the capital to spend whatever they want on these three guys. They're going to get at least one of them. Two is obviously a stretch. Let's just say they're going to get at least, I'm going to put that out there. I think the Dodgers, looking at these names right now again, the Dodgers are going to get at least, they're going to get Blake Snell, Corbin Burnes, or Max Fried. One of these three guys is going to be wearing Dodger blue. That's just my prediction. I really don't think the Dodgers are going to, strike out on all three guys. I think at least one of them gets sold on the idea of coming to a World Series championship team, especially because the three of them, let's be honest, the three of them right now in their current situations, they don't really have the same kind of shot at winning a World Series that they do with the Dodgers, right? I mean, Blake Snell just recently opted out of his contract with the Giants. The Giants, do they really have a shot at the World Series next year? I don't think so. Orioles, maybe. Braves, it's kind of a question mark. They won a few years back. But the Dodgers have the best opportunity for these guys to win a World Series next year and to, really build a dynasty, right? That's the kind of the roster the Dodgers have. They have a roster that could potentially be the next dynasty in Major League Baseball, right? They have all the stars. They have Shohei Ohtani, the best hitter in baseball. And, they might not have the best pitcher in baseball, but Yoshinobu Yamamoto could build into being one of the top in the game, right? And Tyler Glasnow, as we know, is already one of the best. Not the best, definitely had injuries in the last few years, but Yamamoto has a lot of potential, and you can't forget about Ohtani pitching, although I think the Dodgers, like I've said before, the Dodgers cannot really risk Ohtani's bat in order for him to be a formidable starter for the Dodgers, right? They really need him to continue to be excellent offensively and, if possible, still steal bases, because it was just too... He made too much of a good contribution offensively. I think nobody saw that coming. At least I didn't. I didn't expect him to have the kind of year that he had right from the get-go in the first year with the Dodgers. And just that alone, you can't ignore that, right? So, pretty good news to say the least with Blake Snell and, Corbin Burns, all these guys, all in contact with the Dodgers. The Dodgers definitely working hard to kick off the free agency season. Thanksgiving is next week, so we might get a, Juan Soto decision. I think it's going to kind of shake things up. We know the Dodgers met with Juan Soto a couple days ago, so we know that's been going on. I don't believe there's any second meetings scheduled yet with any team. I think Juan Soto has already did his first meetings with everybody. We know the Yankees meeting went well, so we might see a second round of meetings made with some teams. As Juan Soto continues to try to make that big decision, right? And I think everybody's kind of waiting for the Dodgers interested, I think, in Juan Soto and clearly interested in one of these three pitchers, right? The Dodgers want another starting pitcher. Buehler, Flaherty might be on the way out, and gotta have to sign somebody, right? If two guys are out, you got to bring somebody in, and, you got Ohtani waiting in the wings. So one of these three guys going to be wearing Dodger blue. That's Mike Nelson's prediction. As always, make sure to subscribe, and let's go Dodgers. Woo!